All right.
And we're back.
And we're back.
Let me see if I can fix this.
Back for more. So we're gonna try to do a really quick video.
We're losing daylight.
So we're gonna try and do a really quick video of all the other stuff that happened this week in WWE, starting with WWE SmackDown Live.
And we're probably just going to run through this like super fast.
Super fast, because we took way too much time on Monday Night Raw.
And we want to do our predictions.
Like the WWE does. Take way too much time.
Do you want to do 205 real quick? First, just get that out of the way.
I mean, we can do SmackDown, and that way, since we know we have to do NXT and 205, we'll be a lot more brief on SmackDown. Okay. So, SmackDown Live. I unfortunately didn't get to watch this live because I worked, but I did get to see the highlighted version.
Yep.
And, of course, there is a new movement in town. Did you know? It's not the Yes movement. It's the... Yep movement. Thanks, Sami Zayn.
Yep.
So, it comes out, or I shouldn't say it comes out, but the first thing that happens is we see Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. Kind of trying to incite the Yep movement.
Passing out pamphlets.
Trying to get people to join in and occupy SmackDown with them because, you know, Shane McMahon's out of control and he's just unfair and a tyrant.
Yep.
Yeah. Then the first thing that we actually see in the ring is AJ Styles. AJ Styles! I wanted to do that, as you can tell.
The whole neighborhood is getting like a preview of this show. It's great. I hear you echoing in the background.
I can't help it. I'm just loud.
You got that theater voice.
You can't turn this off. You really can't. I've tried. Unless I lose my voice, it's the only way it goes away.
That's great.
I've surprised myself with how loud I get. Anyway, we're not gonna
deviate.
We're not gonna deviate that much this time. So
the AJ segment, kind of a flashback from the past weeks where he's fought the Bollywood boys,
the Singh brothers,
and Jinder beat them down the other week, so now they're come out and they're just they're against Jinder now. They're with AJ.
Screw Jinder, he beat us up. Yeah, you're real man.
It's kind of a little bit of a setup. AJ, is like,
figures it out pretty fast.
India, you guys were still with Jinder.
He's like, yeah, but that's done.
Yeah, so just a build up to later in the show, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did like teasing a possible face turn for the Bollywood boys.
Mm-hmm.
Even though they're so much better as heels.
Yeah, I do wish that they would use them.
Yeah.
In the ring, also, because I mean they are good on the mic, so.
They're excellent on the mic. They know how to cut promos.
Why not use these guys on 205? Oh yeah, you don't have a tag division.
So anyway, the first match that actually happens is Charlotte Flair versus Ruby Riot. The single face on that's still, active on SmackDown versus the leader of the Riot Squad. And,
at least we're seeing them in singles competition compared to Absolution.
Yes.
I'm just so over both women's division angles and the lack of effort they've put into them. So I was, this match I was just kind of not into it, really.
Well, I mean, they've teased it, but at the same time, there hasn't really been that much storyline between Ruby Riot and Charlotte at this point to really make this a match that people can get invested in at this point. Which is unfortunate because, I'm a really big fan of Ruby Riot. I'm a really big fan of face Ruby Riot, though, so this heel turn's been very interesting. Yeah. I feel like she's such a natural face. Then again, I felt that way about Sami Zayn, and his heel turn's going incredible, so...
Yeah. So Charlotte
shows what I know.
Charlotte wins.
By disqualification.
And they all attack, and that's...
Yeah,
it's the same.
It's pretty formulaic.
Yeah.
You can kind of anticipate, but nice to actually have a singles match for one of these new women up on the roster. Kind of nice. But Naomi is back.
Yes, Naomi makes.
So she makes the save, and is recovered. So at least now there's 2 faces on the SmackDown Women's roster. Only 2 though. So the next thing that happens is Daniel Bryan on the phone with Shane McMahon, basically going, I got this under control. Don't worry. I'll be on commentary for main event, so it'll be fine. I'll make sure that nothing gets out of control. I'll make sure that Kevin and Sami,
they're building this angle up very well between Owens and Zayn and Shane and Daniel Bryan. And they're involving some other main faces into it, like Shinsuke and Orton, and it's being built well.
Yes.
Which I can't say for everything that they've been doing, but this angle has been doing well.
It's unfortunate that the title, the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, takes a backseat to this, though.
It really is.
Because it's a good opportunity, I feel, for as much as people don't like Jinder Mahal, I feel like this really has pushed him to being a bona fide superstar.
Yeah.
And it's such a shame that now he's being relegated to the background because a McMahon storyline is taking precedence.
I do feel like AJ is getting more time than Jinder did when he had the title.
Oh, definitely.
Which is kind of sad.
Very much.
Since, we never really got to see Jinder go out there and shine when he had a championship.
I mean, he was being built to be the foreign heel.
He was
to have the championship. So I mean, the times that he did have, it was palpable that it was to get people against him. But I mean, to not even give him really solid moments.
It was shadowed because Shane was the focus of the show.
Always.
At that entire time. So
a slow burn build up, actually, I really like, of the whole Shane McMahon stealing spotlight from his superstars.
Yeah.
But the next match that happens is Baron Corbin versus Dolph Ziggler.
Bobby Roode's on commentary.
Yeah, in which Ziggler wins by DQ.
And
after a glorious DDT.
I'm not fond of this type of build. I was fine with it last week, the Ziggler interfering since he is a heel.
I mean, it worked for Ziggler.
It's tit for tat sort of thing, which I don't care for.
Which affects Bobby Roode's status as a character, considering he's a face. And I mean, he works in this storyline as the face. So why would you have him do something like that puts that into question and then tries to push him more as like an anti-hero?
If you're an established character, like Piper could pull it off all those years because Piper was a heel for so many years. And then when he turned face, he was he was an anti-hero, but he was also a loose cannon, just like my partner here. And so, I mean, with him having that role and
just like my guy Brian Pillman,
it worked. When Flair turns face, it works because everybody knows Flair has always been heel and he's the dirtiest player in the game.
Yeah.
So
even
when
as
he does something dirty,
he's gonna do something underhanded, but you're gonna love him anyway because he's Ric Flair.
When Triple H does it, same thing as Flair. He's been
he's
dirty.
The game.
Yeah. So if he does a dirty tactic,
he's Triple H.
Do it. If Stone Cold does it, because he's a rebel, he's an anti-hero, and he don't give a rat's ass, and so it's okay when he does it.
Even The Rock,
because he's also he was a heel, and
But to have it as someone who hasn't really been quite as established on the main roster to do it, it really confuses people as to where this person stands and how much we're supposed to care and how we're supposed to care about him.
His gimmick right now is this glorious.
He won't give in. He won't give in until he's victorious. Yeah. And he will defend. He will defend. And he'll do what he must. No, he won't give in. He won't give in.
His gimmick really is this
so
white meat baby face.
Until the end. Until the end. Which is ridiculous because in NXT...
he was such a great heel.
Yeah. So it just seemed really weird to put him in that position.
Yeah.
And I feel like he was kind of slotted into it because by the time he's coming up, there's already sort of like
there's so many
the possibility of Sami Zayn also turning heel. I think that was already probably in the works because... that's how far in advance I think that some writers like to plan. So they needed faces to even it out, and without him, it would really only be Nakamura.
Anything, I felt like they should have maybe had Corbin come out on top in this match. You know, instead of Rude looking glorious at the end.
Well, I think it's to push the fact that no one has cleanly beat the other.
Right.
In this situation.
I'm just saying they could have rebooked it in a manner that would have been different to keep Rude more white meat.
Which is what they wanted.
It was also interesting. You know, Dolph was obviously played the face role in the match, even though he's heel.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about that either.
I guess he's going to be pushed as the tweener, the one that you can't really predict.
That's a whole other show.
Yeah.
I hate tweeners. The concept of tweeners is not real. A tweener is just someone that's turning from face to heel
neutral
or heel to face, and anybody that's not face or heel is a jobber, essentially, because they change every week.
To accommodate whatever match. There's a few other
things like the NWA, the world champion was like that because they would go to different territories. But in wrestling, there's no tweeners. So anybody that believes in tweeners, you're an ignorant mark. But
high take.
You know, Ziggler's a heel.
Yeah.
Plain and simple, he's a heel. Corbin's a heel. But in a match itself, you have to have somebody play the face role. They have to do the face tactics, the shine, and all that stuff. So that Ziggler got that role because Corbin sucks.
Yeah.
And Ziggler could pull it off.
Ziggler could pull it off a lot more effectively than a lot of people, actually.
Yeah.
I mean,
Ziggler's
I think his character work is highly underrated, I feel. And I really liked his heel work back when he was, you know, It's Too Bad I'm Too Good.
Mm-hmm.
Hip swiveling Dolph Ziggler with AJ Lee. I was going to say AJ Styles.
AJ Styles versus Dolph Ziggler would be great. I wish they would do that. Yeah, I don't know. I think Corbin might actually keep it at Clash. Is the way that's the feeling I got from it with this.
We'll talk about our solid predictions in a little bit, but right now we're just going to go quickly through to SmackDown. So Bludgeon Brothers had a match against Colin Delaney and Juan Francisco de Coronado.
Another, I mean, you know, a big squash match for them to help them look great. Two things. They did the full Nelson powerbomb that I said that should be somebody's move. It wasn't exactly like how I envisioned it, but they actually did that in this match, which shows that it can be done. And the squill when the guy got hit with the finisher.
That's right.
And Corey Graves lost it. Highlight of the show. He kept talking about it and was just laughing. Because
it was hysterical.
So, and all right, this is what kind of irritated me.
2018's James Ellsworth tag team. To be fair, like they're gonna go over to Raw.
Okay.
I'm calling this right now.
No, you cannot. Because you're not playing that on the table with all the Christmas presents. That's a grandma thing. No, not now. Anyway, one thing that irritated me was like the Fashion Files got preempted. It's told us you can go to WWE Network and watch it if you want to find the answer. Yeah, they sort of
shunted it. I mean, maybe they were just like this. Maybe something else went over time.
I don't know.
So they had to cut it.
I thought that was such a huge cop out, especially with the pay-per-view this weekend.
Where they're gonna have them, where it's gonna be.
This is the only thing they get is the Fashion Files. So I thought that was cheap.
It was very cheap. So the next thing that happens is the Yep movement. I was gonna say the Yes movement, but the Yep movement. With Sammy and KO coming out and basically trying to incite the crowd and be like, yeah, we're gonna do this like how Daniel Bryan did it a couple years ago because you guys understand us, and trying to get people involved, and it didn't work at all. But who does come out? Daniel Bryan. The real leader of the Yes movement. My dad bought me this shirt because he was like, this just feels like you. And I was like, thank you.
And, I mean, it was a good segment, really good segment actually.
Yeah, it worked. I think for
and
building up
like,
more
what are
between
you
them.
guys doing?
Yeah, he's just like, is this a joke?
So, yeah, it builds up to later in the show to the main event. That's really it.
Yeah. But I mean, a couple key things that I think they point out is, you know, we're just like you, Daniel, because we're being held down by the man too. And
They
he's like,
definitely
yeah,
tease. It's
that's
a big tease.
different.
Huge tease, and they
Definitely.
start implanting. And I don't like that they have such little faith in their fan base that they have to plant the idea that Daniel Bryan is with Sammy and Kevin.
KO.
And they really do
Men
plant
of honor,
this
if you
idea.
will.
Sammy or Daniel Bryan's, you know, he's with them on this. And even, you know, at the end of the show, I don't want to skip ahead, but they keep planting, the commentary keeps planting this idea.
It's just sort of
and
like they don't think we can follow these clues on our own.
Yeah, it's really it's a dumbing down of wrestling storytelling, which is really bad. So what's next?
So the next thing that happens is Usos versus Rusev Day. Machka every day.
Rusev and Aiden English win.
Yeah, and they also give us a little bit more of the 12 Days of Rusev.
Yes.
So, 8 Aiden songs, 7 boards of breaking, 6 Machka kicks, 5 Plovdiv keys, 4 of the lads, 3 unhindered genders, 2 Rusev shirts, and a massive win over New Day. And a tag team victory.
I'm glad that Aiden English is getting a little bit of a push here.
I mean, he's a Guerrero.
Right. You know, by injection. So, I mean, good for him. And he got the win. I think he got the pin, yeah?
He did.
Yeah.
Because it was actually him with the pin on Jimmy Uso after Director's Cut.
Yeah. So
I mean, definitely pushing the Rusev Day as the new dominant tag team. I still hope that they find that it come to find out they're the real 2B, as in 2B or not to be, and Bulgarian Brute. I still want this to happen, because having it be cool. The Bludgeon Brothers would be too cheap. And you're smarter than that, SmackDown. You're smarter than that.
Not to skip ahead to our predictions, but I'm hoping they actually win. So what was next?
Time for the time to strike when the iron's hot. That's the real time.
Yeah.
So AJ Styles is backstage and gets jumped by Jinder.
That's that.
Yeah. Orton and Nakamura make their entrances. With, you know, Orton being on the side of Nakamura, and then Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn make their entrance, and it's just KO's entrance song for both of them. Proving me, unfortunately, right, in that I was like, oh, he's just like a tag-along to KO. I hate this. I love this, but I hate this, because he's his own man.
So then, ultimately, after it's a good match.
Kevin Owens versus Nakamura. A match which I've fortunately gotten to see live, and it was incredible.
Great performers.
Definitely.
The
work
referee
really
gets
well
knocked
together.
out.
Yes.
Nakamura ducks, and Owens blasts the ref with an elbow or a forearm. And so after, what was it, a spin kick of some sort?
Yes.
And Nakamura makes the pin, and Daniel Bryan puts on the referee shirt, slides into the ring, and Owens kicks out at, almost at 3.
Yeah. But it took so long, see.
And then after Nakamura gets ready to hit a Kinshasa, Sami Zayn gets on the ring. He knocks Sami off, and Owens ends up hitting the pop-up powerbomb. And Daniel Bryan counts the 3. And then they give us, again, on the commentary, see, Daniel Bryan's in
He's on their side.
So whether that is, if it is the case
whether
or not,
that comes to fruition this Sunday or not.
We don't need to be told
Yeah.
what to think. They should have just trusted their fans to follow the story. Not give us the exposition of it.
And it's definitely a tease for the tag team match at Clash of Champions this Sunday, which will more than likely be the main event. And it's going to have, like the show mentioned, dual referees. So it's going to have both Shane and
Daniel Bryan
Danny
races,
Bryan.
so we could see the
finally dissolution of their relationship.
So it's possible we could see Daniel Bryan join them. I feel more likely it'll be more ambiguous, and Daniel will count the pinfall that Sammy and Kevin win, and he'll be accused of being with them
In cahoots.
and it will just keep further pushing out from here instead of there being any definitive alliance or anything, unfortunately.
So 205, basically 205 has a lot more of the relationship, the burgeoning relationship between Enzo Amore and Nia Jax. One of the things that happened on Raw afterwards, after Cedric Alexander won, Drew Gulak's just like, I'm gonna beat Cedric Alexander, and then I'm gonna beat you, and I'm gonna be the new cruiserweight champion. And Enzo's just like, whoa, slow your roll.
Yeah.
And he's just like, what? It's just a little, friendly trash talk.
Yeah.
And then Enzo lays into Drew Gulak's like, whoever said we're friends? You work for me. And I was just, as this was happening, you could see Drew Gulak just be like, I'm just like, face turn.
Yeah,
It's gonna happen. Face turn. It's gonna happen.
And then he's like,
and then he's like, there's only, in your PowerPoint presentations, there's only one word to describe him.
And then Enzo kind of just,
And then Drew Gulak's like informative.
Yeah, informative?
And then you see,
and then Nia comes into the picture.
Yeah, you see, oh, how you doing?
He's like, hi, Drew.
Hi, Enzo.
I really like your
PowerPoints.
presentation. He's like, yeah, I was just telling him they're very informative.
And Drew Gulak's like, yeah, thanks, guys. And she's like, I'm so glad I got to run into you, Enzo.
Yeah, it's really cheesy.
I'm hoping that it's just they're working us hard.
So is she on? Has she been on 205?
Not yet.
Okay. I didn't know if they pushed it more like that or not.
Do you think we could talk sometime, when you're less busy, Enzo?
Well, I mean, good for her that they're actually using her and letting her be in this sort of role instead of doing some sort of stereotype and it being like, Sasha Banks or whoever and letting Nia represent, I think it's cool. Unfortunately, it's with Scrub Enzo.
Yeah. Scrubbiest of scrubs.
We'll see where that goes.
Except for perhaps TJ Perkins.
What matches did they actually
so the matches that they had were Cedric Alexander versus Arya Daivari, in which Cedric Alexander got the win after a lumbar check, of course. Then they have some Drew Gulak going on talking about how he's going to beat Enzo, or how he's going to beat Cedric Alexander and be the number one contender and get to fight for the belt. And you see a little bit of dissension from Drew Gulak. With him calling a meeting of the Zo Train without Enzo Amore's knowledge, and Enzo being like, what makes you think you can do this? And he basically is just like, well, I might win the belt soon, so. It's just like,
interesting.
Which I would love. I would love Cruiserweight Champion
Yeah.
Drew Gulak. I would pay for PowerPoints. So then there was Kalisto versus Jack Gallagher,
Okay,
which
Kalisto is permanent, it seems.
in the cruiserweight division, yeah. They are starting more of a feud between Kalisto and Gran Metalik on one side and Jack Gallagher and Brian Kendrick on the other.
Okay.
I'm kind of glad that the partnership between Jack Gallagher and the Brian Kendrick has been keeping up. Nice to see some semblance of consistency. And we also see Kenta debuts next week. Amen. Finally.
May have to actually start watching 205.
Yeah. But then we'll be disappointed quickly because I'm sure he'll...
Totally will.
They won't use him, right? So, the last match is Tony Nese versus Enzo Amore. Nese, who kind of was the only person when a couple weeks back when they had a whole bunch of, or when Enzo had a whole bunch of qualification matches, saying, you know, oh, if you guys win, maybe you might get a title shot. Tony Nese is the only one to have won.
Mm-hmm.
And the rest of the train didn't. So I don't know if this is gonna come up ever, but they did have a match with one another, in which Tony Nese did get the win, unfortunately due to disqualification. So that's 205 in a nutshell. Tried to keep it brief. I really like the Cruiserweight division. I'm really excited for Kenta showing up, or Hideo Itami showing up. I just hope that they are able to use him well.
Let's hope.
So then
I don't have super high hopes because, yeah, I don't know, but we'll see.
So the next thing that happens is NXT. So NXT is actually going to be on television tonight, in about an hour our time, but we do know the results already, so we're going to talk about them. So the first match that is up is Andrade Cien Almas versus Fabian Aichner, sort of like a coronation match, I guess you could say, for Cien as the new NXT champion. We get some hype for Ember Moon being the new NXT Women's Champion. Of course, this is a lot of stuff that's to catch the audience up, because the audience is likely, a lot of TV audiences are seeing NXT for the first time. So having a nice sort of introduction of the main people, the main champions. The next match that we get is Authors of Pain versus Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch. Danny Burch having a pretty impressive showing outside of the lads of the UK division. He's not been involved as much in the UK division, which I thought was interesting, even though he was part of the UK tournament.
Interesting. We're seeing Authors of Pain still in NXT.
I think maybe as a nice introduction to them.
Maybe.
I think it was telling that they're on this televised version, so that the audience can sort of see, oh, these are guys that are dominant in NXT, so that when they come up, which is probably going to be soon.
These are two big guys, though. You don't even need to introduce them to the audiences.
And they're going to be with Paul Ellering probably still, so.
You know, these guys have a presence like Braun Strowman, so. Just depends where you stick them.
Yeah. So then there's a Sanity promo with Alexander Wolf's skull staples, Nikki Cross all bruised up, and Eric Young talking about how War Games was awesome and brutal. We got a teaser for Shayna Baszler joining the NXT Women's Division. And then the final match on the USA televised version is Aleister Black versus Adam Cole. To see who's going to be part of the #1 contender fatal 4-way that's going to happen at NXT TakeOver Philadelphia over Royal Rumble weekend, which Aleister Black does get the win.
I was saying, you have to feed Black to, Cien Almas. You really have to at this point. I mean, they've been building him up the ladder for this. I mean, I can't see strapping Black at all. So
not yet.
Yeah.
Not at this point.
I feel like
not with Andrade Cien Almas as the champion.
I feel like the plan was probably to restrap McIntyre and then until he's ready, and then put the belt on Cole when McIntyre pulled up to the main roster. I don't know, how long is McIntyre out now? Has it been said?
I don't think it's been confirmed. Early reports said it was going to be at least a couple of months. I don't know if the prognosis has improved or not, but we'll see. And then what happened on the WWE Network version, but didn't get aired on the USA version, was Ember Moon versus Peyton Royce in a non-title match, which Ember Moon did get a win after hitting the Eclipse.
Why not be for the title?
Who knows?
Interesting.
An interesting thing that happened, though, was that Billie Kay, after Ember Moon got the win over Peyton Royce, Billie Kay comes in and attacks, and Nikki Cross comes in and makes a save. So, interesting alliance possibly there. Sanity's stock has been slipping, especially now they're not going to be the They're gonna soon lose the championships, but
yeah.
So that was NXT, and then we're gonna do really fast tribute to the troops because I forgot that happened.
Oh, I forgot about that as well.
So tribute to the troops. I'm just gonna go over the results of what happens because a lot of this is sort of outside of storyline sometimes.
Was that aired on TV or just on the
It's gonna
network?
be tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
So it's gonna be on TV tomorrow. So it's Shield, which is Roman Reigns, Dean Everson, Seth Rollins versus the Bar and Samoa Joe. Shield does get the win because, of course, they're the faces, so they've got to. Interesting is that Absolution, Paige, Sonya Deville, and Mandy Rose get a win over Bayley, Mickie James, and Sasha Banks. Charlotte Flair gets a win over Ruby Riot. Clean, I assume. New Day, 2 members of the New Day and the Usos versus Rusev, Aiden English, Chad Gable, and Shelton Benjamin. Interesting, because it's 3 faces and a heel tag team.
Yeah.
And then Styles, Nakamura, and Orton versus Jinder Mahal, Sami Zayn, and Kevin Owens, in which the faces win, obviously, because they're faces.
Would have been nice to see some inter-brand stuff happen.
Apparently, this was recorded before the Raw roster went to Abu Dhabi.
Oh.
So,
okay.
yeah. So basically, what happened was all the Raw matches were on first, with all the Raw superstars going on first, so they could catch their flight.
I see. Well, I mean, you think that they could have done a little bit better logistics for that?
Anyway, that was your week in WWE reviewed. A little bit faster in the later part of the week. I know Raw is 3 hours, so we took a long time.
You want to do a Clash predictions?
I think we should split it. So we're gonna split it. Like a different video.